moving on to Stargirl, which town are we in, Michael? Like, where are we hopping on the map?
Blue Valley, Nebraska. From one murder mystery to another. Um, what I'm going to do here is I've already given my review of the premiere last week as a spoiler, so I'll talk a little bit about that with more spoilers, and then give a sneak preview review of the second episode because I have seen that too. So the season premiere of Stargirl was exactly like I said it would be, the start of the murder mystery. The episode was titled The Murder. The JSA reassembled. Meanwhile, some of their villains from the ISA are now their besties. And I say that tentatively because two of their former enemies are now Courtney's next door neighbors. And one of her former enemies, who literally tried to kill her many times, is now a member of the JSA. So there's a lot of conflict there. And the other members of the Justice Society are like, why are you suddenly now friends with villains? We can't trust these people. They cannot be part of our teams, and stop trying to see the best in people. Meanwhile, Courtney is visited by the Gambler, who is another villain from season one. But unlike the rest of them who helped them stop Eclipso last season, he did not. He has been on the run the whole time. But he's all like, I want to turn over a new leaf too. And they're like, no, you're not afforded the same courtesy here because you didn't help us save Eclipso. So why don't we just arrest you right now? But he promised them that he was on the search for a secret daughter who he didn't know he had, and he wants to be a better person, and he doesn't want his daughter to think that he had abandoned her. And that resonated with Courtney because her father abandoned her. So she was like, give him a chance. But the JSA were not happy that the Gambler was back. The ISA were not happy that the Gambler was back because they were trying to turn over a new leaf, and here comes one of their old villains. And Starman, who was the original hero who wielded the staff, who died prior to season one, is suddenly back to life, and he's not happy that the Gambler is back. So there was a lot of like negativity out there towards the Gambler, who was just trying to find his long lost daughter. And as the Gambler, who's an IT was using his laptop to trace his daughter, and then he suddenly happened upon cameras that were everywhere in the town. There was one in the Whitmore house. There was one in the high school. There was one in Beth's house. There was one in every member of the JSS house. Basically, there were cameras all over the place, and there was a camera outside the Gambler's trailer. Long story short, somebody is watching everyone in Blue Valley, and the Gambler came across it. But before he could do anything about it, he was killed by an unknown entity.
But his daughter.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the JSA were on their way to confront him, and they heard a gunshot. And when they got there, they found they heard the gunshot. It was the gunshot actually that they think killed the Gambler. And when they arrived there, they found Cindy, who was Courtney's former mortal enemy, who is now a member of the JSA, trying to turn over a new leaf and failing miserably. She was standing over the Gambler, holding the gun, and she turned around to the JSA and was like, I didn't do it. And that's where the episode ended. So
that's a great ending.
Here's Courtney trying to think the best of her former mortal enemy who wants to be good, but is also completely bored by the idea of being a hero. So here's Courtney trying to think the best of her. The rest of the JSA have no doubt automatically going to be convinced that Cindy is the one who committed the murder. So it was a great episode. There was a lot of tension. There was a lot of build up to the new story. I always say Stargirl's got such a lighthearted, golden age nostalgia kind of vibe about it, but there's also like an unexplored eeriness about the town that's lent itself to the whole idea of a murder mystery really nicely. You do see in those old British murder mysteries that the towns are like quaint, but also slightly creepy. So now we're going to see Blue Valley explored in that sense as well. Even with all the superpowers and everything, I do think it's going to lend itself to the arc very nicely because all these characters are really quirky. They're really out there. They're really unusual. And you see that in murder mysteries all the time. You don't know who to believe because everybody's got an agenda, and there's definitely the same here. So I really loved the premiere. I thought it was one of the best episodes that Stargirl's produced. Different, but also similar. And I think if a show can pull that off, if it can try something different, but at the same time be exactly what you love about it, it's nailed that. And that's what it was. So my sneak preview of episode 2 is the episode is titled The Suspects. So I'm trying to say this in a way that won't give anything away. From my explanation, and I think you probably figured out that a lot of people did not want the Gambler in town. there are a lot of suspects. And I think primarily Cindy is obviously the primary suspect. She was standing over him with the gun, and the JSA were already having their issues with her. The other suspect is the Shed, a former member, a former villain, a former member of the ISA who worked with the Gambler. He was not happy to see the Gambler back in town. But last season, the Shed helped them stop Eclipso, who was the big villain of the season. So even though he's a bad person, he is turning over a new leaf. He's kind of that indifferent character that walks the line between good and evil, and he'll pick whichever side serves his agenda the best. So the Shade is now living in Blue Valley, trying to just find a good cup of tea. He's a very old-fashioned British man, so he's trying to find a decent cup of tea. So I don't think he's the one that did it, because he went to such a lengths to try to save everyone from Eclipso last season. But no doubt he'll be one of their primary suspects. Also, their new neighbors now, who also were members of the Injustice Society, the Crocs, they're called. No doubt they'll be suspects as well. And then Starman, who was not happy about the Shade or the Gambler being back in town, will he be a suspect even though he's a hero? So basically the suspect is exactly what it says on the tin. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's the start of the investigation. It's all of the team comes together to try to find out who committed the murder. And it's going to be quite an interesting season. I'm very excited by the way it started, and I'm looking forward to where it goes. But that's you all caught up on the happenings in Blue Valley.
I believe Cindy.
I believe Cindy too.
So do I. So do I. I don't like her at all, but I believe her.
I forgot to watch the episode, and once again, Michael, you have convinced me that I need to watch this episode because it sounds really fun.
It is really fun.
I don't know how I forgot to watch it. Like, you had so many reminders. The day that the episode premiered, it was a lot was going on, and then I saw all your reminders, and then I just didn't watch it. But I need to watch it because it sounds so fun.
I'm really excited to see what you guys think of it. It's Stargirl is such a strange beast. Like I said, it's such a it's quirky, and on paper it's the perfect comic book TV series, but at the same time it's written far better than any of the other shows on the network, Superman and Lois aside. It's written like a streaming show, so it's just because it used to be a streaming show. It's far higher quality, and it's not episodic. But like I said, the murder mystery kind of makes it episodic this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like.
And we need to support it.
Yes, we do. We really do. All the support in the world. Everybody tune in. Episode 2 airs next Wednesday, September 7th at 8 p.m. If you don't watch it, leave your TV on the channel. Please support Stargirl.
Into the mole, Michael said quality. And if Nexstar is looking for quality, it's Stargirl.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, protect Stargirl at all costs. Also, I just wanted to make a good point. Yes, it started on the last day of summer. Yes, it's just September, but guys, this means that the fall TV season has officially started. Yeah. We do have to wait 6 weeks for anything else to join it, but
Michael called it. It's fall TV.
Fall TV is upon us.
Welcome to the new fall TV era, led by Stargirl.
Yes, the Star Spangled Girl is leading the charge.
Oh, with her glowing staff.
Yes, exactly.